Prepare for battle.
Jigs up. My deepest sympathies. I saw that.
Hello? Greetings, salutations. Cinder, they didn't give predictions, so now you have to talk for 3 minutes straight to not only give your predictions, but what the panel would have predicted as well. Can you do that?
I can. Unfortunately, I have to inform you that your microphone is crackling a little bit, but I figured this is the perfect time to say it because I have so much to talk about in this game about how much I love the Radiant draft. I think it's amazing.
I can't tell if you're joking, by the way.
I am not joking.
30 seconds to battle.
So
Jesus Christ.
this Nigma draft, in my opinion, is really powerful. I'm surprised that Liquid gave some of the things away that they did. Obviously, it is something Liquid have been known to do in some series, where they will give the enemy team some of their best picks. Personally, I think it's a very scary prospect giving GH, Phoenix, and Mind Control Slardar. I think in many ways it's maybe their single best heroes in this current patch right now, and that Nigma have won a lot of games on the back of these two heroes on these two players. It's not just that. The Zeus pick was amazing. I think the laning stage is set up nicely for them. I'm saying a lot of good things about Nigma, and I don't want to count out Liquid by any means. I do favor them based on strategy. But something that Liquid's lineup really has going for that is they can make a godlike Medusa in this game. You give it Blood Rage, you have Oracle protecting it. They've run this strategy before. They go high ground when Medusa has 2 items and win the game, and that's probably the plan against this PA.
Jigs up.
Thank you so much for continuing to talk, Cinderin. I got no fix, bro. There's no rhyme or reason why there'd be crackling, so
it's better now.
I assume that everything is fine. I'm sure it won't be fine when I get really loud, which happens all the time. Okay, good. I did want to mention that I'm really glad that there's a Rubik in the game, so I can confuse him with Undying, as he's going to get tossed into the bot. Beautiful timing there. Thank you for that, Mr. Liquid. As Taiga is going to be pulling these creeps, it looks like, from Kuroki. He's going to get a little bit of harassment off as a result. So let's talk about this bottom lane. PA, Rubik versus the old Tiny and Bloodseeker. Going to confuse him with Doom, of course, because they have the same color combination, Cinderin.
They look so much different. The Rubik Undying, I feel like, you had a bit of a case there. Bloodseeker Doom, absolutely no way.
Well, I actually watched that clip again, and when the first time I rewatched, I'm like, that's literally Rubik. And then he turned around. I'm like, holy shit, Rubik's face just
holy shit, it's Undying.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
But
honestly,
just to be on record, I have no problem with that. They can look like totally different heroes. I don't care.
I think a lot of the time when people talk about, to me, honestly, the biggest thing about the heroes is the silhouette rather than the colors. So when people talk about, oh, this hero looks a lot like this, most of the time in the game you can tell by the size, the way it's postured, if it has any like weapons and stuff. But with Rubik and Undying in particular, their size and their posture and everything actually does look pretty damn similar when he wears that set. So I think you have a case there.
Thank you, Cinder, for backing me up.
When people compare Dragon Knight and Silencer, like most of the time, like, yeah, but they look pretty different. And one of them turns into a dragon. Oh, Mirabel's actually dead.
The Blood Right. Yes, very nice timing. Just on the edge of the Blood Right. That's first blood for Team Liquid. Is now GH attempting to run away here. Looks like the Fortune's End will connect, but Mickey gets bashed. None more right click here. GH, of course, is a very low armor hero. Looks like the bash is going to continue for Mind Control, just right clicking away from Mickey. But no casualties.
Uncharacteristic for Miracle there. I think he just totally underestimated how much damage this lane can do to him. They're going to do it again. Not in the same extent, but obviously a cute pairing. You Blood Right on top of yourself as Bloodseeker, you toss someone in, and then you can Avalanche to make sure the PA doesn't Blink Strike away. But yeah, good start for Liquid here in this bottom lane. I think getting Bloodseeker is one of those heroes where if you have a bad laning stage, a lot of the time it can feel very underwhelming to me, but he's like very much a snowball hero. So getting that first blood on him, having a nice lane matchup through the entirety of the laning phase here, I don't see Rubik PA doing anything to him, to be honest. He can just farm. All the harass they put in, he's just going to get it back with Thirst. So should be a very good start for Boxy in this. And the good news there is it frees Taiga up. You remember the game we cast the other day with, we had a Tiny Timbersaw off lane, and the Tiny was free to roam and pressure mid. We could see a similar game here, as Miracle might just flat out die again bottom. They missed the toss, it doesn't matter.
Man, Nigma dying in every lane essentially right now. Mid, saw Weehaw go down to Koikva's beautiful combo. Actually popped his Fairy Fire as well, but Koikva's still in range to not only get a right click, but the Lightning Storm as well.
Your mic is being
And what
weird.
happened? I'm just gonna keep reconnecting. It's Discord. I don't know what to tell you, Cinderin, all right? You gotta put
It's
up
good
with
now.
this shit.
Did you change anything?
I changed nothing! As Miracle's gonna continue to tank up that blood right. Boxy just about to hit level 4 here in the bot lane. As we
God, I
will
love when
get
they curse a team.
an
It's the
Arcana.
best. Like, man, their draft is so good and their lanes are gonna be nice and everything, and then they just get... I mean, it's a couple of kills, okay? Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, but Liquid definitely off to a hot start in 2 of their lanes. Both mid and bottom are looking great. The lane I did highlight the most, of course, is the one that Nigma are winning, which is the Slardar Phoenix lane into Oracle Medusa. I don't think Oracle Medusa have a reliable way of winning this lane. Slardar is very strong against these slow heroes that don't have reliable stuns. There's a little bit of a root, but there's no slow, no attack speed slow. Makes it very easy for him to lay onto targets. And Insania could actually... He needs to be a little bit careful here. He does interrupt the pull, so nicely done. Could have maybe been gone on here, but they will protect the bounty rune with Slardar. And Kuro will also steal one. Click it. Okay. He didn't click it. Now he's maybe gonna... he's dead. For sure.
Yeah,
no
he's
token.
negative. I'm using a different microphone just for you, Cinderin. It's my shitty mic, which of course will probably work. Top lane, we have a crush into the bash onto Insania, and ooh, even with the ultimate expended from Weehaw, desperately needs that kill, as he is a little bit behind in terms of network. But with that, he's actually bounced back to basically evening up towards this mid lane. And we talked about how Nigma got off to kind of a meh start, and in terms of Weehaw, we've talked about this so many times. That's kind of a standard thing for him in lane, but he's probably better than anybody at bouncing back. Maybe Sumail would be number 1 on my list. His bottom lane, Avatos into Blood right again. Miracle, Phantom strikes to the Siege, but looks like he might get right click down, but the TP here from Kuroki is enough to dissuade his pursuiters.
Kuro didn't bring a salve though, so Miracle, yeah, he survives, but he can't touch creeps with anything else than Stifling Dagger right now. That's just, if he comes in close, he's dead, and waiting for this tangle will take a while. Good rotation mid though from GH, using the Icarus dive to get in on the Lesh, set up Zeus for that kill, get him the power rune bottom as well, which would be an illusion. As well, maybe I have to eat my words. They might be able to kill Taiga here. Kuro is low.
Right, coming again. Miracle just going to tank it up. He does get the kill in the meantime. Boxy, empowered by all these low HP heroes, will continue to right click Miracle, getting healed by GH in turn. And here comes Weehaw. Rotation from mid, but Boxy is way too quick.
No Thunder God. He'll be okay.
Yeah, another 40 seconds to go as Weehaw's working on a Boots of Travel to start things off for him. But we didn't really talk about the mid matchup. What did you think of the Zeus versus Lesh as just the matchup overall?
I think it's pretty even. It's one of the heroes that, like, Leshrac wins a lot of lane matchups mid, but against Zeus in particular, you don't really have that range advantage where you can bully. Any melee hero Leshrac basically wins against on just the threat of Split Earth plus Lightning Storm, but Zeus can stand several hundred units behind even his own creeps and still cast Arc Lightning for CS, and Leshrac can't match that with his deny damage, so usually you just farm. It's kind of the same logic, right? In a way, the heroes counter a lot of the same heroes in mid. It's about that ranged harass, but against each other they just both sustain and hit creeps, so yeah, can't say I'm too surprised.
Yeah, rotation from Taiga into the mid lane is... Weehaw does have his ultimate to work with now. His courier did get killed. I'm not sure if anything was actually on it, though, of consequence, but...
Nicky
actually extended Stone Gaze. Yeah, interesting. This
he's going with his courier to back. That's his treads. Oh, that is so bad.
Yeah, now mind control.
So bad, lol, chat might say.
Going to continue to try and 1v3 here. Has really tunnel vision on Insania. Unfortunately for him, the crush will not connect this time around, so he's going to get brought down one way or the other, but Zeus helping him get a kill there, so it ends up being a 1-for-1. Could have been a lot worse for sure.
Yeah, killing those treads is a pretty big deal. So it's 2.5 minutes roughly that Mickey doesn't have that, so will affect his farming speed.
Boxy getting some help.
He's dead.
Of Taiga. He will die, but the Blood Right doing massive damage. Taiga not comfortable enough to finish off PA as the wand is still in tow. As Insania comes in to attempt to save his friend. Miracle jumps in, will trade his life for the support kill, and Kuroki looks like he'll TP out just fine.
That's a really good play from Miracle because he's dead there regardless. He's not escaping a second Purifying Flames, but he blurs the cast animation so that he can go and take that kill at the very least before he dies. If he was lucky there, he had like a 20% chance of evading that tower shot. Who knows how that could have ended, but realistically it's a 1-for-1. But keep in mind, Liquid did rotate their 5 down here, so Insania leaving that Medusa vulnerable forces Mickey into the jungle and gives completely free space to Slardar as well as Phoenix to kind of do whatever they want right now. So I think if you're Nigma here, you're still pretty happy with that overall.
And net worth basically even at this stage. We're rounding up at the 10-minute mark, which will be the big contest for all the bounty rooms, obviously. Miracle did get his hands on an Iron Talon. We'll be going for a Battle Fury. No big surprise there. Yeah, indeed. I mean, to be fair, I mean, again, back in Dota 1, Cinder, I don't know if you remember how PA worked. Well, first of all, his blur literally made him invisible, like transparent, so you couldn't even see him.
Do you
could only see the crits. I mean, apart just from a nostalgia factor, I do, but obviously it was terrible. I hated it at the time. But I don't know how your pubs were, but I was very used to seeing like 5 Battle Fury builds on PA. That was actually standard in my bracket.
Yeah, I played in a different one.
It was really powerful.
Only bought 3 in mine.
Well, I actually do believe that.
Is okay. Good dive. He sunrayed just outside of the reach of the Blood Ray, and then he comes out and walked back in. He just killed himself.
Blood Ray to follow. He's blocking him. Nicely done, Bo3. And they're gonna get a tier 1 on top of that.
Not sure what he was expecting there. It was, I mean, Bo3 seized the moment immediately. He had invite. Wait a second. Yo, you used all your stuff. I'm just gonna rupture and kill you. Knew that there was no TP on the Phoenix, so very, very easy kill for him. And GH had no business defending that tower, so a little bit of a mistake coming in. Koikva will claim that tower. Currently, actually not the net worth leader. Surprisingly, Zeus is actually ahead here. They have both died once, I suppose, so maybe it's fine. Makes sense.
3 kills for Weehaw now.
And now
2 of them with his ult. It's a global range. Mickey, mind control. They're gonna make him use his ult to the very least. Attempting to chase Koikva here with the Boots of Travel as well. So Boots of Travel's on each respective mid player right now. And looks like Weehaw will be going for an Aghanim Scepter's mid lane. Kuroki in quite a bit of trouble, but they actually missed the combo of the Avatos. So he will live as a result. Now the rotations have come in for Liquid. Now, Rupture onto GH again. He does have dive, obviously that will kill him.
He has Supernova as well.
Egg is available.
Oh, Taiga totally out of
the tower. Avatos combo is enough to take out Rubik, so it's a 1-for-1.
He should be happy he got a trade there. That was...
Indeed.
He was really out of position there. His entire team had already backed off, and he found himself under the tier 1 tower, but at the very least gets the Rubik. Pretty even start overall. I would say the biggest story of the game so far is Miracle being killed 3 times. I think that is the... I don't know if you want to call it the biggest surprise, but I think it's the most deciding factor so far, is that he has been slowed down this much. Medusa is currently ahead by 700 gold versus this PA. And, you know, 3 of the top 4 are Liquid heroes, so they're looking good, but obviously their supports are not thriving nearly as much as both Kuro and GH, especially Kuro with very high net worth for position 5 at this stage of the game on that Rubik. A great 5 to get gold on. Let's remember that the support duo of Nigma scales incredibly well. Versus one of the heroes is Oracle. Doesn't really scale well. You have 1 save later in the game and a Dispel. That's pretty much it. Tiny has the potential, but not when this is the speed that it's going at. It's unlikely that Taiga becomes like an actual damage dealer. He'll be more of an assassin or a repositioning hero. So with an even scoreline for Nigma, that is not a bad outlook right now.
Mind control. He found a couple members of Liquid in the jungle, but lucky for him, Bo3 pretty much out of mana right now.
Yeah.
Did have Rupture available, but just no mana to actually use it. It looks like Koikva and Weehaw are both going for the exact same items. Boost of Travel into Aghanim Scepter. So second item Ags. What do you think of that for... Leshrac is the more interesting one because it's up for debate, technically.
Yeah. I don't know how much I like it on Lesh in general, and especially in this game. I'm not completely sold. I think you're very vulnerable. You have an Oracle saving you if he doesn't save Medusa. So I think that's why Quick was going for this. The logic is, if I have Ags, my damage is so terrifying that I can run in and they have to respond to me. And if they do, I'm gonna get saved. If he didn't have a save, I would like it a lot less. But in this way, he's creating space for Medusa in fights to feel safe, because there's too much of a threat coming from him. Usually I would like either Bloodstone or Ewel's more for the defensive potential, primarily. Yeah. But we've seen
technically more setup for Bloodright as well. We're going to see the Bloodright now, but telekinesis into death for Mr. Bo3.
This is a big steal
Bloodright
for Rubik.
stolen.
That is such a good spell on Rubik. It's incredible. It's a 6-second silence usually, but then you add Arcane Supremacy. So on Rubik it's between 7 and I think 8.5 seconds or something if you have Max Supremacy. Maybe even more, actually. The silence is absurd. If you get hit by this on Oracle, you're not playing the fight. So you have to be a bit careful here. And it's also obviously an amazing farming tool for Rubik. Can one-shot creep waves with that and Fate Bolt, and just run away and take the XP. Hit and run. Get items.
Like you said, Kuroki not doing too bad in terms of the farm. Working on an Aether Lens for himself. Mind Control's Blink Dagger, of course, is in his inventory now. We've seen the Atos for Bo3 already come to light. Still the Ags working on for the Leshes.
Oh,
Mind Control.
fighting for the bounty.
Rupture, but there's the counter silence from Kuroki. Might dissuade them from going up to the high ground. Looks like they will back off. But in the meantime, looks like Miracle and Weehaw end up taking out Taiga.
Yeah, did Taiga get the rune? He did. So at least he died for the rune. You're not too mad about that. It's a position 4. You get the rune, you get killed by 2 cores. It's at 15 minutes in, that's usually fine. Nice blink from MC, gets away from the Atos. Should mention Medusa finished the Manta style very early. I think it was a 14-minute Manta coming out from Mickey. They had a huge Ancient stack that he farmed very easily. I think he got Blood Raged, used Split Shot and Iron Talon to clear that up very quickly. So a huge spike in his net worth. Remember a moment ago we said he was, what was it, 700 ahead of Miracle? We're now talking 2.5k.
Egg is used, and yeah, Bo3 super dead, has no TP, so he really didn't have any business being this deep into the lane. Of course, we have the vision that he does not, but he will add another death to his counter. Has 3 as of now.
His aggressive plays are creating space and a lot of safety for Medusa and Leshrac, though. It's not like he's dying completely in vain, but the question is, could you have made the enemy team make that rotation as well without dying? Because you already got the push through that you wanted. You had it that deep in. Did you need to take an extra wave? Probably not. So I'm kind of with you that was unnecessary, but sometimes deaths are good in this game, and...
So you tell me, Cinderin, every time we play together, as long as it's me.
Yeah, it's always a good trade when you die for anything, even a courier or a lane creep.
Or
nothing.
Yeah, even that. Your death for your incessant whining in my ears is a great trade-off.
Well, Mickey's going to find Mind Control in his triangle here. Let's talk about Mickey. You talk about how the...
Man, that's going
Mantis.
fast.
Yeah, he has a lot of items right now. My question is, do you think that he switches up his build at all because there's a Zeus in the game? Like, do you change anything? Or just continue on just being Medusa?
Well, what can you buy against Zeus? Is there anything else than BKB? Is Hood enough? Is that actually valuable? I'm not, like, I understand the matchup and what the point is of picking Zeus into it. I'm just thinking, what options does Medusa have except BKB and Hood? I don't really think there is much to solve that. Because any items that you buy, I mean, maybe you buy less
Miracle
staff. Oh, he is toast.
Jesus. Absolutely.
Bit of a counterplay here, Sunray.
They're not going to be able to find anybody. Mind Control wasn't close enough to be able to find some sort of initiation. All the while, Mickey still continued to just farm away. You talked about the Dragonlance being done on top of the Manta. We'll be going for MKB next. Mid lane. Mind Control wanted to initiate, but his Corrosive Haze is dispelled immediately. But there's the ult from Weehaw. Egg to follow. Boxing out in a precarious spot. Attempting to TP out. Will be successful. They'll lose Taiga. But again, if you want to count the Miracle Death early, it's still only a 1-for-1. Position 1-for-4. Liquid will take that.
It did look like Liquid were posturing to take the mid tower, or at least do a lot of damage, though. And that kind of got put to a halt. They did 100 damage and forced a glyph. I think they were hoping for more than that. So with that perspective, not a bad hold from Nigma whatsoever. Of course, Medusa's just chilling, having a good time. I don't think Mickey wants to really get involved in much until he has his next item. Maybe at the MKB timing is when they look to do something. And about this whole Zeus matchup, I thought about it a little bit more. I think maybe what you don't do that you usually would is to get the heavy stat items, right? We see Medusa often by Scotty. Perhaps the better approach is to get Butterfly BKB, so that even when you're not BKB, Zeus's damage is a lot less significant since your health pool is a lot smaller. He also burns less mana. Whereas Scotty might just turn out to be almost a dead item, right? That gives almost no value against the hero, because you're a tank here, but you take more damage, so...
Right.
Kind of like buying Heart against heroes that have percentage-based damage.
The old Lifestealer approach before they changed Feast. Oh, initiation. He's gonna whip his flash, unfortunately, and he's gonna pay the price. One death for him. Yeah.
I'm not really sure what he was looking for. I mean, it's obvious from our vision, right, that Liquid have a lot of heroes there, but from Mind Control's perspective, he had a little bit of help nearby, but not a lot, and there were 5 heroes missing, so...
Yeah.
It's a little bit crazy.
Double crush, but
it's gonna cost him the tower.
The
it's pretty big.
Radiant's
Tier 1 will hold. Gage's egg is up in 5 seconds. Here's the initiation this time from Boxy, and then Kuroki showing his blood right as well, but looks like he's going to be the first to fall. Avatos onto, the ruptured Phoenix. Destroyed again. No time to even use the egg this time around, and the tier 1 falls, and we're at the 20-minute mark, Cinder. Will they get all 4 runes?
This is such a snowbally play. One mistake from Mind Control, and it ends up costing them mid tower, 4 bounties, and a Phoenix and Rubik. I mean, it's not like all of those mistakes are connected, right? Rubik and Phoenix didn't have to die. They can concede that tower. Kuro wanted to try to deny it, be cheeky. He got A-toast. Then Mind Control was trying, or GH was trying to save Kuro with Sunray, so then he was out of position. A little bit of help your friend syndrome really cost them here a lot. That could have been cut with a Slardar death in the tower, and now lost way more than that. Well, MC actually, did he get 2 runes? He managed to get 2 runes on the Slardar, so it's like, it's not too terrible.
Once he revived, he instantly TP'd bot as they were pursuing their own jungle. So a good move there, and actually forced out the ult from Medusa.
Alright.
Radiant are scanning.
So it could have definitely been worse for Nigma, salvaging what they could. Still only 2k behind, so I just look at this game as from a perspective, Medusa, just the longer this game goes, the stronger she gets. But again, there is a Zeus.
There's solutions here.
It works exactly the same way.
I think that's a very dead Bloodseeker.
That is first damage out of control. Bloodseeker dead at the blink of an eye. No buyback to speak of. GH still with the egg. No percentage-based damage to Medusa this time around, and they might just end up being happy with the tier 1 tower if they do get the Bloodseeker. I believe that is the 4th death. Yeah, 4th death for Bloodseeker now.
Yep. And this is something to keep in mind about the Medusa, right? Like, traditionally, you're like, oh, Medusa's mega farm, Medusa's gonna just go high ground and win, but there's Static Field, there's Sunray, so double percentage-based damage that can really hurt her mana shield. And usually Medusa strategies work in a very specific way. Medusa goes, hits tower, has protection behind, and the enemy team has to fight into Medusa. The problem is, there's insane single target burst on the Nigma lineup, so they can smoke around and just hit the backline. And Medusa will not be in time to save that backline. If you get Slardar amped plus Zeus ulti, PA 1 crit, you're dead.
And Korsa staying alive. False promise applied to him as well, as Mind Control is going to pay the ultimate price, but Egg does get expended, so they at least will not get the Phoenix yet. Taiga trying to pursue, has the Avatos and Blink available, but will not be in range to find anybody in the meantime. Roshan's still available, and this is something you definitely want to try and deny against the PA Slardar lineup. The problem is they don't really have, they don't really have great right. Maybe once they get the MKB from Mickey.
Yeah, they can take it. It takes a little bit of time, but a Blood Rage Medusa is not too shabby at it.
True.
You have Edict. It helps. It's not, like you said, it's not great, but do they have a medallion? They don't. I would imagine they want to buy Solar Crest this game for their Medusa.
Taiga's dead.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Wrong place, wrong time. Now, let's go back to the build for Mickey, because obviously he went for this right-click build. I think BKB probably has to be next, right? Or do you think he can afford to go something else? As this Roshan.
I just don't know. I have to say I don't know. I think if he goes BKB, the problem will remain the same, right? Where, yeah, you're not gonna die, but how do you protect your teammates if Nigma get the jump? That's still my biggest fear here for Liquid is if Slardar, Zeus, and Phoenix just get to cast their spells and soak, PA will kill 2 or 3 heroes behind Medusa. Oh, they might try to go on Medusa here.
And with the newly minted Aegis, he's gonna pop the Stone Gaze, and Slardar will turn to Stone immediately. But Oracle's already dead, so that's their save. But Miracle, way in front, ends up expending his Aegis in turn. And Weehaw tossed into the brunt of the damage. 50 seconds on the deck for him. No buyback whatsoever. It looks like the fight's going to break up a little bit. Oracle buys back into the game. Avatos is available. Avalanche is more than enough just to take out Kuroki on his own. And all alone is this poor Miracle PA.
Huge for Liquid. A couple of things there. First of all, the arena of the fight. They had super good ward on the high ground, so they knew exactly what was happening from Nigma's play there. Insania just got off Ghost Scepter when he got jumped by PA. Almost got one shot, but survived, and it cost so much time for Miracle, and he got rooted and turned around on. He doesn't have BKB yet, so if he gets caught this close to the enemy tier 2 tower, they can just overwhelm him. So really, a lot of things there from Liquid going very, very well. And they might look for more here. Koikva? Who's killing who exactly?
Atos is there to ensure that he'll be able to pick up that kill, and another toss coming to fruition, but the Leshrac will die, so that is a huge kill for Nigma. Despite not having the PA available right now, they're able to get the opposite position too. Mind control, blink TPs to safety.
Radiant's top
This is
tower is under attack.
it's still really good stuff from Liquid. They're going to take this top tier 1. Yeah, you lost Roche, but you immediately took the Aegis away because of the area. Once again, the area of the fight, more important than anything. Nigma couldn't really connect, and they don't have that BKB on PA yet to keep her safe on her second life, so
let's talk about that
massively.
For a second. Obviously, I mean, this is not like a super weird build or anything, but Battle Fury Deso, do you think the BKB should have perhaps come online sooner, or is it still fine the way that this is going for Nigma?
I mean, you can make a case for going BKB after Battle Fury because you have Corrosive Haze, but I still think I worry a little bit that then you're way too reliant on Slardar. Then you pose no threat unless you connect. And a lot of the time what makes PA so damn good is that there's a fight happening somewhere and PA just assassinates somebody else on the side on her own. The Slardar synergy is amazing later in the game when you need to kill cores in straight up man fights, but we're not really there yet. So I think Deso is probably most of the time the item you want to go here. It's just in that type of specific fights, you obviously hate that you don't have a BKB, but then you probably just played the fight incorrectly, right? By taking it there to begin with on the enemy territory.
Yeah, still quite a ways away from finishing the BKB for himself.
God, so big on Dusa. Oh my. He's going
so
Scotty.
He's not changing the build at all. So after all that talk, it's literally just cookie cutter Medusa build.
We'll see. I'm not completely sure if I don't know the math here about like how much tankiness you get versus how much damage you take against both Sunray and Static Field. You might want the Scotty regardless because you want to have a reliable way of sticking on PA and Slardar. You want the slow for yourself. You have the MKB, so you hit the PA almost all the time.
Liquid looking for Weehaw. The Avalanche does connect into the toss, not able to toss back to his team, but Weehaw spending everything in his arsenal to try to take out Taiga. It's not going to be successful, and Weehaw will die in the midst of Nimbus. And now the egg used as well, and that's easily right-click down for Liquid as they have an 8k net worth lead now.
Not really in position together in this moment. Like Liquid are just really quick to act when they see a hero out of position. I think showing his Zeus up here it's not really a play that they can make if they don't have protection from a stun, right? You want the Rubik or the Slardar there to diffuse a situation like that. Instead, you only have the Sunray, but that's not going to stop them. They don't care. They're just going to keep running at him and overwhelm him with that damage. Tier 2 tower falls bottom. This is Liquid's... This is how their strategy wants to work. It's really come together.
Is ruptured right now. It's going to get tossed into the fray and brought down. That combo again working out for Liquid. And they're going to take out Kuroki in the midst of the tier 2 tower. And Liquid are starting to run away with this match. And I mean, you talked about Mickey's farm, Cinder, and he wasn't even involved in that fight, but Look at the net worth discrepancy right now. Not even remotely close.
No, Nigma have really fallen apart. All these deaths that they've had, especially in the PA, has just given Medusa such a massive lead. 0 deaths on Mickey. He's been allowed to place triangle with Blood Rage the whole game, pretty much as he would like. And as much as I really like the Radiant lineup, and I stand by that, but they can't afford to make mistakes like this against this lineup. If you trip up too many times and Medusa gets this big, even if you have these counters, she might be too much to handle. Like, there's an Oracle save, he's 2 items ahead of the PA, it feels like. It's too much.
It doesn't feel like. It's 8k, that is 2 items ahead, for sure. A little bit of a whip initiation there for Taiga. But again, Mickey just right-clicking from afar. There's the toss into the back line. Mind control taken out from pure right-clicks after the fact. We'll see if Liquid want to reset or not. Yeah, 40 seconds on the deck for mind control, but...
That's a lot of respect shown. Maybe they really feel like they can't do it with the Zeus in position and ready and the Phoenix. Like, they still don't have enough. They were kind of low on resources on a couple of heroes, so I guess fair enough. Like, Lashrak was low on mana. There was a top wave of the tier 2 that he can farm and push out. And you probably don't feel in a hurry, right? That's the other thing. Like, if this game was closer, maybe you would feel a little bit more pressure to, okay, we have to take this lane of Rex now that we've got this little moment of opportunity, but you're definitely feeling the advantage here. You know you're far ahead.
Yeah, they can expand their lead just by pushing out the lanes, getting those neutral items that are starting to spawn now. 30-minute mark is approaching, so the outpost having control of that is a big deal. Taiga with this Invis rune, this could be pretty dirty. Another potential setup, although Bo3 not quite in range to set anything up. But Nigma now are just obviously playing a little bit scared, having to group up, invade their own triangle. But as you can see, no creeps available to take right now.
Dire are scanning.
And the tier 2 tower looks to be next. Mickey, the siege tank himself, will right click from afar, level 23.
Oh my god, it's so disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty, won't lie.
Give him 70 attack speed right there. Just keep going.
What's the damage you take? How much per second?
2.5%.
Oh, it's percentage based as well. Okay. Yeah. So even from his own team taking percentage based damage.
How many ways can we make it challenging for Mickey and he's still not gonna die?
He is only 1-0 with 8 assists, so there's the Avatar combo. Taiga, the rupture again. Weehaw is dead, but he doesn't have buyback this time around. Taiga attempting to get out.
Oh, the perfect save!
Fate's Edict will save him from that magic damage, but the Rax is already gone. The buyback from Weehaw expended. Now Mickey, he is actually getting somewhat low. We'll use Stone Gaze, Mind Control. Ends up getting tossed in, I believe, by Rubik. He's just going to get Avatar to death, it looks like. Mystic Snake to follow. Koikla looks to be dead. He's going to pop that Essence Ring and stay alive a little bit longer, but will fall shortly after. Miracle now already popped his DKB. He's just getting right-clicked down by Mickey, and the False Promise not enough to keep him alive. So the position 1 and 2 are dead for Liquid. We'll see if they end up buying back. Probably not. As Taiga able to Avatar poor Miracle down to his death, and Weehaw, this looks to be a potential dieback as Blood Rights are being exchanged from each respective team. But Weehaw does live at the cost of Kuroki.
I saw a little bit of
call that a 3 for 2,
there.
but there were buybacks as well.
Yeah, it's definitely still a big Liquid win. You saw a little bit of the promise of what Nigma's lineup can do because they managed to burn through all of Medusa's mana because Zeus got to cast a lot of spells, Phoenix got to do the damage, but it's still, there's a lot of damage done to that base. They lose a lane of barracks, and the trade-off isn't really even that great. You get the Dusa, but it cost you Zeus buyback. You still lost your PA again. This is Miracle's 7th death this game. Not a very common sight for a Miracle to have this many deaths in a game. And he's really been targeted super hard, and to me, this combo of Tiny Bloodseeker have really run this game. I think Taiga and Bo3 have played super well. Just constantly quick on the trigger finger, really. It doesn't take much of a misstep for Nigma before they're on him. That Atos and that toss, it's a kill. And clearly these heroes were picked in tandem when you saw how the draft went down. I think Nigma were not even... It wasn't even on their minds that Tiny was a ban here after the first Phase 2 Oracle and Bloodseeker. Don't think you can blame them too much for that. It's not really one of those common combos you look for necessarily.
I mean, it feels like a meme combo, but it's working a lot.
It's so much more stable because of Atos. It makes such a big difference. it gives Bloodseeker the opportunity to set up for Tiny. It's such a big change because usually, if you want to call this a meme combo, right, the catch that you have will be Tiny blink tossing, and then you need to rupture kind of during that. But with Bloodseeker being able to set up the Atos plus Bloodright, first of all, you give your Tiny a lot of time. You give yourself time to hit a rupture and get vision. And then, if the enemy team responds, you even have other plays. The Bloodright is zoning them off. You have the potential of choosing a secondary target if you want with the Tiny. And when the help comes in, it's just it's a very, very nice synergy, actually, these two heroes have.
It has taken, I believe, pretty much every hero from 100% to 0. Essentially,
yeah,
in just one combo. It's crazy. Now imagine, Cinderin, just imagine when the 3 toss charge, I'm not sure we're gonna get to this point of the game, but Taiga, 3 toss charges with Boxy's Aghanim Scepter double rupture.
And then they both have E-Blade Dig in 5.
Yes. See, I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah, me too. It happens in your games, not in this game. This is not.
That's not true. I actually watched you recently. You played a 60-minute game recently. Mind Control, Abathon combination. There's a rupture again inside of this Nimbus, but it's going to matter now. They're going to take it out very quickly. 49 seconds on the deck. Mind Control does have buyback this time around. We'll use it immediately as Roshan, we can see, is available for the taking.
Do they have a smoke on the Dire? There's going to be a game-winning smoke if they have it. They don't. Mickey has double damage.
Radiant. Ooh.
So
yeah, that's
any fight right now,
filthy.
Dusa hits for 400 million damage. Gotta be careful. He hits for, what is this? 523 damage per hits. Very nice.
Well, with split shot, lowering that a bit, but then you're hitting multiple targets. Still.
Yeah, so
absurd.
then she's hitting for 2,000 instead. If you like that more, then yeah, I guess.
I'm a little bit surprised. They're playing very disciplined right now. I was gonna say I'm a little bit surprised they didn't go for the Roche, but 25 was just about to be picked up for Mickey, which he now has. So split shot using modifier, Scotty on multiple targets, very helpful. And it looks like that is what they were kind of waiting for, as
he's gonna lead the charge.
For a potential pick.
Didn't find anything.
Mind Control. There's the initiation. The egg on the other side, but my lord, Oracle actually taken out immediately by Mind Control. Looks like he'll be the trade of sorts as the egg does officially go off. So 2 kills quickly for Nigma, but Miracle stuck right next to a Leshrac. That's not something you want to see as GH continue to get right-clicked down by Mickey, the siege tank himself. Buyback onto Boxy. And with that, this should be a free Roche for Liquid, which is the Aegis and the Cheese this time around.
And that, honestly, that was such a well-executed fight from Nigma, but it's just too little too late. That was their best team fight of the whole game. They got I think they got a 4-man Shiva from the Phoenix, went in the middle, placed a very good egg. They one-shot the Oracle with the PA Slardar. But still, there's just too much in the tank, and it makes you wish for them that they took some sort of fight like this 10 minutes ago. But it's easier said than done. This was under very controlled circumstances on their side of the map. They had the high ground advantage. So there were a lot of things going their way, just not the 16,000 gold they were behind, and they could not compensate for that in that instance. Leshrac and Medusa just pumping in these fights. If you don't kill them and the fight remains static, eventually your heroes fall. They just can't sustain against all this.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Yeah, and this will be a free mid laner Axe. They cannot go for Megas because the tier 2 is still up and running for Team Nigma. I mean, they could technically go for the throne, but based on how Liquid has been playing, super disciplined, don't think they're going to do that. And yeah, we're going to see the back off now. Toss requires no target now for Taiga. It's always nice.
Really nice with Bloodseeker. If that rupture is there, you're just free to toss people wherever you want.
And we're getting close to the 25 for Koikva, which is one of my favorite talents in the game. And even with Aghanim Scepter, I don't know if we see the Lightning Storm. I mean, I guess we do occasionally.
Yeah.
The Diabolic Edict just feels, from a casual perspective, just ungodly for pushing.
It is so good. It's not only for pushing either. It's a lot of damage in teamfights too. Like it's just true. You can't ignore how much this does. Oh, they're in on Tiny.
Yeah, they actually use False Promise onto Taiga as Mind Control looking to be brought down, ruptured in the river. The egg is expended. We'll be able to right-click this down. It looks like it will survive and go off eventually. Mind Control dropping extremely low. They do get the Tiny, but it's going to cost them both Slardar and Rubik. And now the chase is on. Taiga finds poor little GH on that Phoenix. That is enough for the kill. So it's a 3-for-1 with a buyback now on Liquid. So 5 versus 2. They're just going to go down the top lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, this is more than likely the end of the game unless Liquid back off. I think if they can see that there's no buybacks here, they feel very
Radiant's top
confident.
tower has fallen.
Phoenix doesn't have it. In their minds, they're
what's
probably
the
forcing
point?
Phoenix buyback here, but it's not there. Oh, Zeus.
Second Taiga again. Yep. Goodbye, Weehaw. That should be GG. I just want to quickly talk about this. Aghanim Scepter for Leshrac, but you go 0 talents for Lightning Storm. He ignored both of them. Just seems weird, right? Just seems counterintuitive. I need the numbers on this.
I still think this is. I just think these talents are most of the time just better. I don't think he needs the slow. I don't think he needs line storm damage because the edict is still more powerful overall. Oh, mind control's super dead. They get Taiga, but are they gonna back off here with their megas? No,
I'm not
seems
calling
like they want to keep
yet.
going.
That is technically a dieback for Tiny. And yeah, I mean, Aegis is still in there for McKay. As Kuroki jumps right next to him, has the toss available, brings him back into the midst of Miracle, who's just getting right click down with that MKB. Weehaw's dead. Nigma just dropping like flies. The Aegis finally consumed, but it's going to cost Nigma their entire team as GG finally come out. And Liquid take a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 series.
Very nicely done. All right, I was very excited dog about that game.
Thank you, Onion.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
He's a big Liquid fan. He loves that water. Maybe he needs some right now, but yeah, solid game. Solid game, really. I think they played. I think they played super well. They played to their win condition. So much work. Loved Nigma's draft. I think they got it handed to them this game. I think they got outplayed. The lane